good Wednesday morning, the second day of February, of course, Groundhog Day, which we'll talk about in a second. But we did finish a cold January, 5 degrees below normal, as we discussed. But since 1970, January's overall, the trend is the most important thing, warming 8.4 degrees. In fact, Minnesota is one of the fastest warming spots in the lower 48 in the winter. Some interesting news too from NOAA and the World Meteorological Organization confirming that a storm in April 2020 was the longest lightning flash on record, 477 miles. And some interesting news out of Alaska too, where Alaska saw colder temperatures in November than they did in January, which is pretty unusual, but the most likely place in North America to see this phenomenon is Alaska or the northwesternmost part of Canada. It would be very unusual for Minnesota to do that. So Alaska does see pretty consistent cold November through the rest of the winter. But yeah, here's some stats from the National Weather Service on the groundhog. Yeah, he predicts more often than not, by far, more winter, and his accuracy rate is only 40%. So a flip of the coin is actually more accurate than what the groundhog predicts. Of course, it was cold this morning, back below zero, just barely in the Twin Cities, but much more so in northern and western Minnesota. And today we'll see single-digit highs here, but most of northern and western Minnesota stays below zero. That's that grayish-green color. And that's going to set us up for a cold night tonight. In fact, tonight will be the coldest night in this latest cold snap. And ahead of the cold, the leading edge of the Arctic front, a big winter storm. So at least we're missing this. I'd take the snow, no problem. But ice is going to be an issue from Texas into Missouri, Illinois, parts of Tennessee, but a heavy swath of snow too. Look at this area of snow. And this extends into the eastern Great Lakes and the Northeast. In fact, the jackpot looks to be just south of Chicago, where over a foot of snow will fall today into tonight. But of course, the treacherous aspect, and they don't have the tools to really take care of this problem, is ice. Thick ice accumulation from Texas, Oklahoma into Arkansas, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, east or western Tennessee and Kentucky. So that is a mess. Nobody wants ice. That really shuts things down. So tomorrow morning, close to 10 below in the Twin Cities, 20s to near 30 below zero in northwestern Minnesota. And in fact, wind chills tomorrow morning will be some of the coldest we've seen this winter in the northwestern part of the state. We're talking about wind chills near 50 below in northwestern Minnesota. Teens and 20s below zero for most of the rest of us. And then another sub-zero night tomorrow night, but then we're warming up here by Saturday, close to 30 here, low 40s in the southwestern corner of the state. They don't have much snow there, 20s for northern Minnesota, and then briefly cooler again Sunday. But overall, look at the upper level pattern. We see a ridge build in from the west here for the middle and latter part of next week, big upper level ridge. That means warm conditions, and not just for one day, but it looks like for at least a few days. So nice thaw on the way. In fact, the Climate Prediction Center predicting likely odds, especially in the Dakotas into Minnesota, of above normal temperatures for next week. And the European model is forecasting some real crazy warmth. Well, not crazy, but it's the most optimistic. 3 days in a row, midweek next week, in the low 40s potentially. Now, most of the models are in the 30s, but either way, looks like we'll get probably at least a few days consecutively of above freezing temperatures. So just hang on another 36 hours of cold, and we will be warming up. And this cold snap is not as cold as the last couple visits, so that too is sign of some winter progress. In fact, 12 below zero tomorrow morning is 4 degrees warmer than last week's cold snap, which is another degree warmer than the one we had in early January. But it is going to be chilly, single digits today and tomorrow, low teens by Friday. There's that real shoot upward Saturday, 31, and then a little cooler Sunday, teens and low 20s, not awful though. And then we're back in the mid-20s Monday, and yes, by Tuesday, that's when we could be above freezing, setting us up for that mini thaw stretch next week. Hey everyone, meteorologist Sven Sungard here. Please be sure to like this video, also subscribe to my YouTube channel, and share this with others.